letters as we should have. We now learn many people are not receiving these proxy letters that you mail out on an annual basis. Number 7, we are officially requesting a complete accounting of the amount of water being bought by Southwest Boone County Water Association for 2011 and up to this date. The costs and the breakdown of the loss reports, the reports in full detail concerning the findings of the water samples, location taking, time, date, to include the results of the test as performed. Also, what notice or reports are given to the public when the test is being performed, and what notice is given at what time as prescribed by the Arkansas health laws. We are requesting all these reports be released to us within the next 10 days. And I would think, as a water association and board, you would have access to these reports. Finally, number 8, we are requesting a complete and true pressure test with all qualified testing be performed on the system which affects this Capps Road area. We request it be performed by an independent agency and performed as soon as scheduling is permitted. We would like to know in advance so we may observe these tests and so my husband and I can make arrangements to be present. We now know what a test should look like. And it's not a T-pole test as performed by Dennis Sternberg on the 29th. Our water and the health is of dire importance to all who receive Southwest Boone County water. We're requesting a written answer to all 8 questions within the next 10 days of this date today. Further, we have attached, Stephen, do you want to hand these out? A signed invoice from Stephen Arvin and Sonia and Arvin for the amount of work we have paid to date, $3,527, with a stipulation and understanding that there will be more money to be needed to finish restoration of our property in our home. Additionally, approximately $7,950. We'll work with you. We'll give you the actual receipts. We're not larceny people. We're honest, straightforward people. And we're not typically people that want to sue. We want to know when we can obtain a check and how you wish us to submit our future bills for work to be done in the spring of 2012. Because we lost the sod, the underneath of our home was flooded, it has to be treated for mold, 2 trees, a huge shrub, not to mention the fact that now I've learned that I've had another mild stroke. And none of these costs that are shown on this invoice relates to any medical expenses. My husband has a good job and we've got excellent insurance. My husband, as a result of this, has ended up with pneumonia. Standing out there working in the cold and the rain and the ice and trying to get that water to drain. Our founding father, Benjamin Franklin, once said, "As we must account for every idle word, so must we account for every idle silence." And to us, Doug Wasson and his crew in Southwest Boone County Water Association has been idle to us as customers and this whole community. Thank you for your time. It's not necessary, but Doug, we want to go on record that we are seriously saddened by what has happened. To us, we've lost someone who we thought was a neighbor and a friend. Stephen has ended up with pneumonia, and I have been advised that I've had another mild stroke from the stresses of all this nightmare since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Remember, treatment like this is unbelievable and does not go unnoticed by the citizens today. Thank you. And Stephen handed out the invoice and the questions that we have to this board. Thank you for your time.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think caused this then?
Based on Mr. Osberg's geological report that Doug is so keenly interested in now, the leaks that's up above us on Rail Road, which Mr. Ballard is going to speak to. I think it's rather interesting that we now know to be your buddy, Mr. McKay, he let us be aware of that the other night when he called us. Those flooding, the way our land is the lowest point. Bobby Estes' and Carol Estes' land is even lower than ours. You know how we know this? Mike Brazil and Tommy Taylor reshot grades. They have all that. But how we know factually how this happened and why it's Southwest Boone water is this report, sir. And one point I would like to go on record of making, even when we were flooded here in Harrison back in April of last year, we lived in this home. We never had this problem. We were not pumping 1,800 gallons an hour out to the ditch during this. Interestingly, when they did their pressure adjustment or whatever they did in that pump house that morning, prior to the testing, all of a sudden that big pool of water started drying up. And yes, you go out there, I saw many of you out there taking photographs, and that's great. I want photographs. Trust me, I have our photographs. We have our documentation ready, okay? That the grade and the way the slopes are from the Sutterfield family's property onto our property is indicative of water running to the lowest point. Any of you that know anything about water, it runs the least line of resistance, and that's what it does. Now we have a 170-foot drain that LD Shields installed for us, that we paid for. That's part of that $3,200 and some dollars.
Ma'am, when it's really dry, like you have some dry seasons, do you have this issue?
No,
Or is it
sir.
just when it rains?
No, sir.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
In your folder there, I put some historical reports for April, May, and June, which we had 6 to 8 inches every month. And we had no issues whatsoever.
I never had it before.
It just started in November.
You're saying that there was a major leak up above?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Can I say something?
has that leak been fixed? Have you seen where they?
No, sir. In fact, Mr. Ballard's going to speak on his behalf of his properties. And Mr. Womack?
Can I say something?
Sure.
I've lived there 68 years, and I've never seen anything like this. I grew up in this area, and that land